What's everybody doing? Summer's over.
Coach, now that you're here, camp is starting, do you feel like your life as a college coach has prepared you especially for what's ahead?
Well, like I kind of touched on at the press conference, I feel like I've been very fortunate in my coaching career, and I feel like every stop along the way has prepared me for this. I felt like summer ended about a month ago, so I've been looking forward to getting going and getting on the ice and getting training camp started.
How long do you think it'll take you to get a feel of the players and the team and just how everything works?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've been fortunate to be around over the last few months, so I've got a chance to get together with a bunch of the guys, so there is somewhat of a familiarity with a bunch of them, but it's going to take a little bit of time once we get on the ice, and I'll have a clearer picture of what everybody's capable of doing, their strengths and weaknesses, and I think a lot of coaches go through that this time of the year. Guys are always getting better, and it's every year brings on a new challenge.
What unique blend of veterans and young guys that you have, just kind of bring that all together?
Yeah, I mean, it's a unique situation, obviously, and we're certainly excited about the veterans we have coming back. We think we've got a bunch of guys that are going to help lead us in the right direction, and we're obviously excited about our young core.
Do you have a plan as far as captains?
I've been asked that a lot, and I think that just takes care of itself. I think a captain usually emerges from a group, especially when there's been a coaching change, and there's a lot of different dynamics when you have a new team and a bunch of changes that we've made, and I think the captaincy will take care of itself one way or the other.
You don't need to do it right away?
No.
Maybe you'll have the whole team together for the first time tomorrow. When you, or Saturday, when you give that first address and want to sort of set a tone, what's the message you want them to come away with?
We want to talk about getting better on a daily basis. I mean, practice is so important. We want to be a fast, physical, relentless hockey team, and you can't play that way unless you practice that way. And we've got to do this together. This is a we thing, and that's the message we've been telling the players ever since we've gotten together and individually. But we're certainly going to continue to reiterate that collectively.
David, there's been lots made about this new generation of player, and you've been around long enough to know, or is there a way that you have to connect with this generation of player that's different, perhaps, than it's been traditionally?
I think it's a challenge for every coach to find a way to connect every player. Everybody's different no matter what generation you're coaching. I think it's our responsibility to find out what makes a guy tick, and at the end of the day, our job is to get each player to play to the best of his ability. And one way may work with one particular player, and it might not work with another. And that's our responsibility as coaches to figure out what it takes to make every guy play to the best of his ability.
How about the roster spots? There seems to be a lot of competition for those. Is that a good thing on
I think it's a great thing. There's nothing like competition, and there are obviously spots open, and good play will reward further play. So our guys, they're getting evaluated every day, and this is no different than any other training camp, obviously from that perspective. And those who play well will be rewarded with further play.
David, went to Europe over the summer to get to know some of your European players, Henrik in particular. What sorts of things did you gain from that trip?
Well, I think for me it was an opportunity not only with Henrik, but for every other player I got a chance to meet with, just to kind of start a relationship and find out, what makes people tick, what their mindset was. We were certainly talking with each guy about moving forward, talking to each player about what they can do to make the situation better. We want to move past last year, no matter what the situation is. I mean, that's kind of how we approach it, no matter what team I'm coaching. I always want to move forward, and for me, it was an opportunity just to get some face time with each player and get to know them a little bit better.
With Henrik in particular, he's a guy who's 36 years old. The team is where it is. It's young. It's rebuilding. What do you suppose his mindset is coming in?
I think he's in a great mindset. He wants to be part of the next wave and a chance to win a Stanley Cup here. He's in incredible shape. He's an incredible competitor, and he's one of the best in the business, and we're fortunate to have him.
From what you've seen of last year's games and what you know of these players, the way you like to play, your system in the defensive zone, wherever you are, can you just take that and bring that here? Or do you need to make changes to adapt a little bit to the personnel you have here?
I went through this at BU. I think every year you're trying to, play to the best of your ability. You're trying to implement your system. Every coach does things differently. just because you do it differently doesn't mean that you're disrespectful of the way it was done before you took over a job. And you know, we've had a lot of success here over the last 5 years. Obviously, last year wasn't the year that anybody wanted. You know, I'm certainly, you know, it's our job to make these guys embrace our system and what we're going to do defensively, but not only defensively, but in all three zones. And to me, it's creating a mentality in all three zones, 5-man gaps, staying on top of people, and trusting each other.
They added a veteran, Quaid. You just talk about what you hope to get from him and how that factors in with some of the younger defensemen you have.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to have a little bit of a history with Adam, being in Boston as long as I have been, and you know, our paths have crossed quite a bit, and I've got an awful lot of respect for him on and off the ice. I think you see some of the quotes attributed to him as a person, but I mean, he's a hockey player. He's a guy that we think can help us moving forward, not only, you know, on and off the ice, and we think he was a great addition.
I know you talked about this in May, but do you think the transition from college to the NHL is just generally easier than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago, just because of the games?
Yeah, you know, I think college coaches, you know, I think if you really look, I mean, our transition should be easier than the CHL transition just because the age gap isn't as big as it is from the CHL to the NHL. I mean, we're coaching a lot of guys. I mean, it really struck me when I went to the American League, as I was coaching the American League. I'm like, these guys are very similar to the age of the guys I was coaching in college. So it certainly makes it, the transition easier. Easy is a wrong, I hate using that word because, you know, this isn't easy in any capacity, no matter how many years you've coached at this level. But, you know, I certainly think, you know, I've been fortunate in my career to be able to coach at higher levels, and I think it will make the transition easier.
How much do you think your year in the NHL as an assistant will help you to understand the NHL?
I think any type of experience helps you at this level when you're able to coach high-end players. I've been fortunate enough to coach in world championships as well, 3 of them. So I think those experiences certainly will help me make the adjustment.
How does Shattenkirk look to you, Reynolds to go as far as just working out and physically?
Yeah, I think he's in a great spot physically and mentally. You know, I mean, last year a lot of his problems were attributed to his health. I think he feels great health-wise. He looks great. It's the best shape I've ever seen him in. And I think I know he's eager to get going, that's for sure.
What'd you take from Traverse City?
Obviously, not having our first 3 rounders this past year was something that we all would have loved to have had, but we've got some good young talent. I know that maybe the results from a winning and losing perspective wasn't what we wanted, but we felt some of our young guys made a great showing, and you know, we're as optimistic about our youth as we were before Traverse City.
You may not be as young here as you are anywhere else in the organization, so what's the expectation from this group? Is it go out and win? Do you expect to be graded on a curve? I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, what
Yeah, no, it's a great question. It's something I've been asked a lot, and you know, as a coach, we want to win every hockey game, and I don't want to. You know, we want to come to the rink every day, be the best team we can possibly be. Our job is to make every player better on a daily basis. And if you do that, you'll be better collectively, and the winning and losing takes care of itself. You know, we think we've got a bunch of guys, returning players that maybe didn't have great years last year. You know, that when you have a career, sometimes you're going to have a down year. And I know we've got a bunch of guys that feel like they're going to have much better years this year. And again, you know, our job is to, you know, simplify it on a daily basis to be the best team we can possibly be and get better daily.
Anything else?
How much are you going to lean on Lindy Ruff as far as NHL experience goes?
Yeah, I mean, Lindy and I got together shortly after I got the job, and obviously he checked every box, and someone I was looking for to have on my staff, and we hit it off instantly. And you know, I've only known him 3 months, but I feel like I've known him for 3 years, and he's going to be he's going to be a big help for sure.
this may be for Jeff as much as you, but if you see guys, younger guys, who look like they may play supporting roles here, lesser roles here, as opposed to major roles
Right.
in Hartford,
Yeah.
is there a general philosophy about what you think is best?
I think that's a case-by-case situation. You know, some guys are mentally prepared to maybe not play a lot of minutes. Some guys may not be. So I think that's a case-by-case situation. Yeah, every player is different. You may put a guy back down in Hartford because he's going to play more minutes, and it might be more beneficial for him to stay here and experience the NHL life.
David, we're all wondering, when you personally make the jump from coaching young guys to coaching an NHL team with veteran guys, 30-year-old guys,
Right.
What's going to be the biggest difference, you think, for yourself in relating to, you know, Matt Zuccarello
Right.
versus, you know, some 20-year-old kid from Boston?
Right. Well, like I've said before, I've been fortunate to coach a 30-year-old before, plenty of times. And, you know, I think it's my job and my responsibility to find out what's the best way to make him the best player he can be. And that's knowing the person, that's getting to know his personality. Obviously, people here know these guys that have been here for a while, so I certainly can take some advice from the people that have been here. But, you know, I've been fortunate to be in this profession long enough to know that you don't coach a 31-year-old the same way you coach a 21-year-old.
I mean, presumably you can shape that 19, 18, 19,
Right.
20-year-old guy.
Right.
When you get a 30-year-old guy that's been doing it a certain way,
Yeah.
how do you kind of get him to do with your way?
Well, to me, it's about creating, you know, trust. And when the player knows you care about them, they'll trust you. And, you know, that takes a little bit of time. And again, that falls on me as a coach to create that bond and that trust with the player, no matter how old he is.
You have a lot of options at center. Are you anxious to see how that will work itself out?
Yeah, I'm anxious to see a lot of things. And that being one of them.
Good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.